Welcome to the end of our Level 9 journey. This game against Leyland REMYCA represents the last game of the season for Leyland Albion on Football Manager 21 here on Sunday League to Legend. Last time out, we won the Build Base FA Vars against the Yorkshire Amateurs. I did make a slight mistake in that at the time we had already clinched the North West Counties Premier Division when we contested that FA Vars at Wembley. So it was, in actual fact, a double triumph. We have 2 trophies to show for our efforts this season, and we're going to end things here at Fox Lane, our actual home, which has been upgraded slightly. There's a few hundred additional seats for our fans to enjoy all the action, and it has been a really successful campaign. In fact, after this game, we will have a quick look at the schedule and we'll see all the teams that we've put goals past. It's not all gone our own way in the league this year. Connor Comer has departed. He went off to North Ferriby. We'll have a quick look at him. Tom Dawson then got injured. So our 2 strikers who were scoring goals for fun, we then had to rely on Connor Finlayson, who had been acting mostly as backup, along with a changeable cast of characters of the likes of Carl Jones, who we signed last year, and then Brad Weir, who you saw. Lewis Salmon has come in, and we actually have a new one. We drew 4-4 in our last game against Bootle, and as a result I've signed their striker because he scored a hat-trick against us, and if he's doing that sort of thing, they were good goals as well. As Harry Walker has picked up a bit of a knock. I'm going to give him a few more minutes yet just to see if he recovers. So yeah, we signed their striker Skinner. I think he's called Stephen Skinner. He scored 25 goals this season for them in about 30 appearances. So snapped him up, and he's coming along with us for the ride next season as we enter Level 8. We've got a few more suggestions here from our assistant manager Jay Curran. In fact, I am going to make that change with Connor Russo coming on. We are, I should say, and this is the big thing at the moment, we are unbeaten this season. If we have a quick look at the league table, which I'm sure we can do, there you go. Played 42 with 108 points, so 107 going into this game. As you can see, Northwich Victoria, second on 84. Warrington up to 3rd. Now they've had a bit of a surge as of late. City of Liverpool dropping down to 4th, and the New Mills now in 5th place. So longest suffering viewers may remember that they were actually the team chasing us right at the beginning of the campaign. They were the early pace setters, and we had to really do a lot to keep up with them. We managed to overhaul them, and we've never really looked back since, and neither does Connor Finlayson. His 45th goal of the season, and with that he's actually surpassed Connor Comer in terms of the league goals. He's actually gone to become our top scorer in the Northwest Counties. So really pleased for him. Tom Dawson is back up front alongside him, back from his injury. He probably won't play the full game, to be honest, Dawson. I won't risk him just because we've got a couple of other lads on the bench that can play there. As here goes Dawson into the middle. Ede back on the left. So we have been sort of quite active in terms of rotating players. I don't think I've ever played 3 games in succession with the same, and there's another one for Connor Finlayson, 3 games in succession with the same lineup. Just haven't been doing it because different players have come in. It's a bit of a motivational tool for them as the ball just ricochets back into Finlayson's path. Our favourite Irish player, Ricochet, getting involved there and making sure that Finlayson has his 2nd goal of the day, which is going to take us up to 110 points. Should we, of course, keep hold of this lead, as there's an effort on the goal. That was Tom Dawson, shot off target. Forbes has come back in on the right. He's been complaining a lot about playing time, and actually he doesn't do that badly for us, as Dawson gets his 40th. So between the 2 strikers, 85 goals. Add in Connor Comer with another 40, you can see we are scoring at a pretty rapid rate. Lent and Lawler are our two centre-backs. It's always a problem position for us due to the way we play. We're always going to concede. They've done a pretty good job between them, along with Craig Stanley, although I believe he is set to retire in a few weeks. Fallon is at left-back, a new signing from the New Mills. In fact, I signed both him and Sheldon Payne, who is on our bench. So I may have not only signed a new player for ourselves, but weakened a direct rival. Russo has been on the right. It's either been him or Harry Walker, really. Ede, he's only just come back into the team on the left. It's pretty much been Marshall. He can play centre or left, and he's pretty good at either. So it's just a case of where we have other players. Trent Coulter back in the lineup. Did so well for us last season, partnered with Old Diego. Now, Old Diego, gone off the boil. Absolute. There's nothing from him this year. I was going to use an Anglo-Saxon term there, but I'll keep it to myself. There's been just hardly any output from him. When he's got the chance, he plays poorly. I think the step up in competition has not done him any favours. He's often, I don't know how sort of Football Manager puts things in order, but he's often right at the bottom of my squad list and just gets forgotten, really, which is a shame considering all the good stuff that he did last year in central midfield. Hopefully, we can bring in some better coaches and maybe get the best out of him. He is only about 20, 21, so there's plenty of time for him. And obviously up front we've got Finlayson and Dawson. I seem to be turning into Neil Warnock. I do like a striker, and they all sign, and then we see if they're any good. If they're not, I'm not adverse now to releasing people. I released James Best just the other day. He'd missed training twice. He's crying about not being in the first team, but if you're not showing up for training, mate, you are not getting in there. He was fined eventually 2 weeks' wages. So that shows how far on the disciplinary process that he was. Had to do it. Had to let him go in the end. We've let a few players go this year. I've not been as soft as I was last year. Because of the success and because we're actually doing so well, I just don't need him. We've still got the likes of Stevenson, Gallagher in the squad. Obviously not being paid because they're only paid per appearance. And I don't think he's seen the team for several months at this stage. If he has, it's been just as a substitute fleetingly. Or when I've played the reserves. Just so, for example, just before the build-based FA Vars game, as Donnelly's through on goal here. Good block by Lent. So Tommy Lent there doing some sterling work in defence, and now Matheson, our Australian goalkeeper, one of our two Australian goalkeepers, tips the ball over the bar, doing some good work in defence. As now Forbes, short free kick, going back to him though. Is he going to get a cross in? He is, but it's cleared by the opposition. Disallowed goal for Tom Dawson. Straight offside there, not far I suspect. Oh, it's a little bit further than you'd like, isn't it? Yeah, you're not really giving the assistant much of a decision there when it's that obvious. Matheson with a goal kick. It's a poor one, rare from him. Normally he goes right over the top, and that's what puts in our strikers. As George Donnelly comes to the party with a fantastic hit. 35 goals this season. He could perhaps find himself being offered a contract at that sort of stats. As I said, do love a striker, and if they're scoring goals, get them in now. At this level, you're obviously not paying them per week. You're just paying their appearances, and as such, you can hoard a squad. You can bring in players, try them out for a few games. If they've gone off the boil, ship them out. You know, just terminate the contract. It's not costing you anything, and that I think is where level 10, level 9 doesn't really work because although I don't know, in the real world, is it the same? If a player isn't playing so well, does the local side just get rid of him? You know, I think about Longridge up here in the northwest in Lancashire, who were in our division this year, in fact, as Finlayson goes through. Was he offside? No, he wasn't. His 47th goal of the season. I thought he was offside, but clearly he was not. Well played by Tom Dawson there. Look at the space. He's got so much time and space, he could have made a phone call. And look at Finlayson just backing him up. You want to see the tight offside decision here. There it is. Oh, he's on as well. It's behind the ball. Fair play. My mistake, that one. And there you have Connor Finlayson in our last game of the season, grabbing more goals. It's what he does. From AFC Blackpool, we picked him up at the end of last season. One of the key things we've done is just made all of our rivals a lot weaker by poaching all of their players. But it's within the rules, it's within the game, and Finlayson has a hat-trick here at Fox Lane. He will take home the match ball, having scored that penalty early doors, followed it up, and then just won as we entered the last 10 minutes. It has been a fantastic season for Leyland Albion, and it will be crowned with this decisive win. 4 goals to 1 now, and they're still coming forward. Dawson with the effort, not far wide, the commentary says. Povey with the with the goal kick, but it's Dawson again coming forward. Ede with the chip, and Trent Coulter not able to deflect the ball on goal. Late change. They want to bring on De Castro, who somehow is still here. I have no idea. Mostly, I think, because other left backs have left. I've kept hold of him, even though his stats aren't brilliant. Marshall with the corner now. Dawson trying to meet it, but it's cleared well by our opposition. Now Dawson again. Fallon right down the line. No, that's going to be all over, isn't it? Full-time ref. He's played 50 seconds more than he needed to. Make that 57, 58. Okay, we're more than a minute now. Come on, ref. Well, it just seemed like he was waiting for them to score, didn't he? So he could shake his fist. And here we go on the end of season. Little walk around the pitch to thank the fans. Only 2 subs made throughout the game. Well, not everybody needs to play, do they? Shelton Payne, I think he's going to be somebody for next season. One of the few guys that we've got with a bit of experience. The rest are still young chargers. This isn't a youth save, but it's sort of turning out that way. We've also had our youth intake, as you do every year. A couple of decent prospects, 3.5, 4 stars, but the rest not up to standard. So they've all been set to release, and we've offered new contracts just to the lads that are coming through. And so that is it for level 9. That's our last game at this level. Next time we will be in the dizzy heights of level 8, and I am aware that it is now the end of January. New Football Manager game comes out, middle of October to the end, if you consider the beta. I sort of need to get a move on with these, don't I? Need to play a lot more games. You'll see actually on the schedule for the last few days, I have been motoring through games. Anybody that accuses me of save and restart, I just haven't got the time. The amount of games that we've played, it's just been one after the other. All good quality performances as well. We've really done well in that regard. One of the things that I have found tough again is the defence. We're still not there in terms of personnel, but with the style of play, the 4-4-2, it is a very attacking formation, and that does leave the defence exposed. So I sort of don't have high expectations of them. I just need them to keep out less goals than we score, because we are going to score goals. It started out with Connor Comer, who I do wish was still here. He scored over 80 league goals for us in less than 2 seasons. I mean, it's an amazing record that he had, but unfortunately he saw the contract off from the bright lights of North Ferriby and took his bags out of his locker, packed his stuff and moved on, which there wasn't really much we could do about it, if I'm honest. Couldn't keep him. He'd been rejecting every other offer. Same with Tom Dawson, same with Connor Finlayson. The other clubs, they all come in for them. But there isn't much that we can do about it. Harry Walker did, of course, pick up a twisted knee in that game. So we'll just show you some of the transfers that have gone out, and we'll have a very brief look at the league. I'm aware that game has gone quite quickly, so I think we've got a good 4 or so minutes for us to have a look. As you can see, Andy Metcalf off to North End United. Courtney Wilding was taken as well. And Connor Comer, he's the big one, just at the start of February. So as you can see, for the North Ferriby, he scored 10 goals in 21 starts, 1 off the bench. So he's not doing massively well for them. But look at these stats here. This season, 35 goals in 26 appearances. A perfect 9 out of 9 from the spot. Last season, 57 goals in 39 games. An amazing record. Touching an average rating of an 8 for the former Bolton man. So North Ferriby have really stolen him here. They are first in the English Northern Counties East Premier Division, which I have to say I think is the league not above us. I think it's the same league, but they are well placed. Obviously, they're going to get promotion, as are we. So I don't know, mixed feelings really, because you'd like him to take the step up, but there's not really. There wasn't anything we could do really in terms of his contract. He's still not getting paid, but I suspect he's on a big appearance fee. In terms of the players that we've signed, obviously, I mean, there's loads of them here. A lot of them on free transfers. When they've come up on the scouting report, we've brought them in on trials and then offered them contracts. The rest, certainly the last 5 there, Brad Weir from the City of Liverpool, and Matt Chris from Whitchurch is actually on international duty at the minute. Sheldon Payne and Mason Fallon from the New Mills, and then there's Stephen Skinner from Bootle. So I think he's currently with our under-23s. The last time I checked, there he is. But as you can see, his stats for Bootle this season: 34 goals, 42 starts and 7 substitute appearances. Scored a hat-trick against us, and that really alerted me to his quality and had to bring him in. In terms of the league itself, bad news for Charnock Richard fans. Bottom of the league, absolutely right down there. Only 11 points all season. 11. 3 wins and 2 draws. 37 losses. Whereas ourselves, 0 losses. 34 wins, 8 draws. So we're not exactly doing any, Arsenal Invincibles end of the season here, just grinding out the draws. We finished 24 points clear of Northwich Victoria, who themselves have finished a lot higher up than 1974 Northwich. Other local teams like Squires Gate done really well to be in 6th. Got to give them a lot of credit for that. In terms of the player stats, I think there's a new goal scorer now, Tyler Goodrum. So the Northwich man, as you can see, Connor Finlayson, they're in 2nd, along with Donnelly from Litherland. So he scored, obviously, just against us. Tom Dawson and Connor Comer. So 3 of the top 5, all representing the Albion. Great performance, obviously, by Connor just before he left. In terms of assists, he'll be up there as well. There he is in 6th. Tom Dawson surpassing him. 16 in 2nd place behind Michael Ordish, again from Litherland. So you wonder if there's a bit of a combination going on there. Key passes, Sheldon Payne. Now he's one of ours. So we'll look forward to that next season. We will go through this in a little bit more detail. Just as soon as we get the end of season highlight package, I think we'll air that on YouTube. In terms of our schedule, so the last time you were with us was the Bill-based FA Vars. Before that, I think it was a City of Liverpool where we drew 2-2. After that, as you can see, just a complete whitewash. All wins, 3 draws thrown in, likes of Skelmersdale and 1874 Northwich, Squires Gate down at the start of April, but they're all wins, they're all big wins as well. If you look at this stretch here, Erlam, 5 goals to 1. Then Ashton, 5-2, 4-1 against Padiham, and Widnes, 4 goals to 1. Ended the season really strong. The 6-0 win over Charnock Richard was just embarrassing for the home side. Over at Mossy Park, Connor Russo with 2 goals. Paul Marshall, Finlayson again on the score sheet. Aguilar and Lewis Salmon, one of our young players that we've signed as a bit of a prospect. That came the week after the game against the Yorkshire amateur side in the Build-based FA Vars final, We then played Congleton, City of Liverpool, we drew, Barnoldswich, and then we drew that game 4-4 against Bootle. And as you can see, Stephen Skinner, 4 goals, and they were all bangers as well. They were all fantastic strikes. So that alerted us to his quality, and as I said, he accepted a contract to join us. So, an unbeaten run. The only game that we lost all season was this one. New Mills, 3 goals to 2. Back at the Lancashire FA County Ground in front of just 2 away fans, who I can imagine lost their shiz knit at the 3 goals there. Of course, 2 by Sheldon Payne, who is now one of ours. And that is our only defeat of the season. In fact, did we lose any in pre-season as well? Can I see that? We did. We lost 2 in pre-season against Radcliffe and Bury AFC. That's it though. 3 losses all season. Only 1 competitive game we lost. Fantastic performance. The highlight for me has to be said. This one, #United, 3 goals to 2, with Tiger Smalls on the score sheet for #. I've kept my eye on him as well, along with a few of the other # players, in the hope that we'll be able to sign those in the coming seasons. As it stands, we are promoted. We are going up, and in the next episode, I think we'll do like a pre-season roundup of all the transfers, all the happenings, and we'll feature probably a pre-season friendly against one of our local opposition as we prepare for life at level 8. Thanks for joining me. Hope you're enjoying the series. Do leave a little bit of a like, subscribe if you like. We have videos on a Monday and a Wednesday, always regular, so do check us out. Thank you ever so much, and I'll see you again.